got this range of controllers that we've developed over the years. Many years ago, myself and a blast from the past, Mr. Dave Thorpe, we were making these controllers from old pike cassette floats, the ones with the sticks down the middle. We'd bore out the bottom, put a weight in, filler it back over, and then basically come up with that design. Over the years they've proved deadly. Basically what happens is that they sit in the water up to about this sort of level, and they're just a bolt rig under the surface. I mean, you see lots of people fishing with controllers, huge, great big tails. Personally, I'm just happy using a shorter tail. They don't know what these are. Fish come along, they'll knock it, they'll bump into it. They're not spooked by these at all. Because they're just under the surface, they're not really worried about them. Little short hook links, they come in, bang, they are nailed totally. The beauty of these is if you're fishing in fairly weedy waters, the bigger one, because it's waggling around their heads, it disorientates them a bit, and you can actually get them in very easily across quite weedy areas. They don't seem to charge off at all with them. The construction is the same as the floats. There's a moulded weight actually inside of the float. The top swivel and inner plastic core is moulded right inside. Again, strength is paramount. They're not falling apart. There's 3 sizes: small, medium, large, varying distances. Although personally, I prefer either the medium size or the large one. Again, for the reasons I was saying earlier, is that once they're set up and fish are hooked, they really do disorientate them, and you can get them in easy in pretty weedy conditions. Ash, I don't know if you want to have a quick look at these and then just show people how you fish them.
So I think the easiest way with these is just to hook them, so they're quite simple. So with the egg itself, my setup is I just thread the egg on, and then what's actually supplied with them is one of these tail rubbers that we produce. So just thread the line through there. Okay, and then just simply the swivel. So if I just tie that on. And just push that through. Wet the knot so it goes nice and tight down to the eye of the swivel. And then clip that off. Then all I do with the tail rubber is come down to the swivel, push that on, so it then just goes onto the barrel like so, and then the egg then comes down and just slides into there. So what you then have there is a semi-fixed bolt rig.
Perfectly safe, that is, Ash, isn't it? I mean,
perfectly safe.
Yeah, I mean, if anything breaks away, just a little bit of pressure, and that's gone. So that's a good setup, mate.
And that's the key thing is from a fish safety perspective. As Dennis mentioned regarding hook links, how I fish with these is just a bit of mono.
So you got the short shanks,
yeah,
the wide gape,
size 8 MCF wide gape. And I've got there a trout pellet, but whatever your chosen hook bait is. Then just tie that on, really.
Bit of wood's good.
But how I would fish that, I mean, the maximum length I would use is that. I would not go any longer than that. And again, just tie it on.
Yeah, it seems strange to me that people have this perception of using great big long tails on floater fishing, and yet on the bottom everybody goes down to the shortest hook link that they possibly can.
I think the beauty of this is, and this is just purely down to the egg and the setup, is that you can cast this out, and as Dennis has mentioned already, you can get around 100 yards with these, 100 yards plus, depending on your casting abilities. But you don't need to look at your hook link. You just put your rod down, leave it on the buzzer, and you know when you've got to take, because there'll be an eruption on the surface, and away to go. So as you can see, we've got the semi-bolt rig with the egg. And that is pretty much it, and now I'll just show how far especially the large float goes out. I mean, this is great, especially if you are spotting mixers or floating trout pellets at range and the fish are at range. This is absolutely superb at getting at them. Okay. So even though you can't see the float, it is literally a case of just putting it down on the buzzers, and when you do get a take, they'll just scream off.